What is up, guys? Sammy filming the last episode of Life After Lockup. I just got done filming episode 7, so I'm gonna be wearing the same clothes in the last video because I just finished my notes for episode 8 and I'm really sad that it's ending. Really invested, and now I just have to kind of rely on the media and her TikToks to get some news on her. Subscribe, like this video, comment, check out my other videos if you haven't already. Make sure you check out my podcast, Pretty Open-Minded. We're trying to get to 100 followers, so make sure you follow me on there. Check out my socials because if you're not keeping up with them, you're missing out. Everything's linked down below, and turn your post-vacation. This episode was very crazy. I was a little bit disappointed by Gypsy because it was just a lot going on in this episode. It was such a good ending, but I'm just so upset that it's ended this week because I always looked forward to seeing it every Monday, and now I have to wait probably maybe next year or so. I don't know if they're making a season 2. I'm hoping that they do because a lot of people like made reactions off of this show. A lot of people really stayed and kept in touch with the show, and I think a lot of people liked it. So it would suck if it would stop here because this is like, they're pretty current with what's going on, because once they talk about the pregnancy, you know it's extremely current because she just announced it in like early this month or something like that. I can't really remember honestly because she's been doing so much the last 6-7 months and it's just hard to keep up sometimes. So it starts off with Gypsy crying in the car with Christy because she's still upset about leaving Ryan and Pixie. And Gypsy said that Ryan kept texting her to see if she still like loves him, and she said that she felt like she tried in the marriage and is aware that she isn't perfect, and she felt like Ryan thought it was like a prison relationship, even though she said it wasn't a prison relationship. And what she means by that is that like they get into relationships in prison just for like only for benefit purposes, but in a way it kind of ended up being that because she did marry him just for a place to stay, so it was kind of a prison relationship. Tracy says she stood by him during the hard times, but Rod said that he felt the same way about the same way that Gypsy feels about Ryan is how he felt about Dee Dee. And he goes on to say that he felt like she made a huge mistake marrying Ryan. And then Rod greets Gypsy, and then they start getting settled into her new room. This is where she's supposed to be staying because now I mean, I don't think she can move in with Ken because they're not married, and she couldn't move in with Ryan if he was a boyfriend. Like, you have to be married, I guess, in order to be transferred to their house. And she didn't want to be with her parents because she was like 32 and didn't want to be a burden, so she just made that executive decision to move in with Ryan. So she goes on to say in her confessional that she's sad about leaving Pixie behind, and that her and Ryan have like their separate baggages that they still need to work on. And she said that she texted Ryan saying that she wanted to cuddle him, which I was like, I don't understand why you're doing that, because you specifically left him for a reason. You said that you felt very like cooped up in the house and all this stuff and controlled, and it's really manipulative of you being the reason to break it off. And you're like, I still love you, all this, because she did this a lot throughout the episode. She would just randomly text him at 2 in the morning, like booty call hours, and being like, I still love you, all this stuff. And I'm just like, I feel like this is like a whole different version of torment, because he wears, I don't know if he wears his heart on his sleeve, but he definitely has a soft spot for her, and she knows that, and she's using that as an advantage. And I think she liked having 2 men, I guess, fighting over her. I'm gonna consider that. The producer asked what was his reaction, and she said that like he ended up testing her out for that, which was like very valid. Then it pans to Ryan saying that Gypsy texted him saying that she loved him, and Gypsy texted Ryan a picture that got out of her and Ken because he went to he came over to visit her, and he reads out the text saying that it was evil of her to do that since she wasn't wearing her wedding ring. And in the picture, like, they already look like a couple. Like, it already looked like they broke up. It already looked like they broke up either way. And she was saying that like nothing was happening, like they were just friends. But who just has her hand on their chest and looks very like, I don't know, I don't do that with friends. Like, I don't know, it's just the way that the picture looked. It looked like they were already official. Like, it looked very like giving boyfriend and girlfriend. And the next day, Ryan says that he saw a picture of Gypsy and Ken getting matching tattoos of two huskies, and then when he put them together, it makes a heart. And it literally like made him break down because he felt so betrayed. Because like, well, one, it was Gypsy's idea, and two, like, they never got matching tattoos.
When we were connected, I was like, let's get matching husky tattoos. This was my idea. I'm like, let's do it. I'm like, this feels right. This feels good.
There are matching tattoos per wall. It's like that I mean anything. That I mean anything.
And it was kind of like a spit in his face because he wanted Pixie all along, and he never really like, she didn't seem to care up until she like after she basically left the situation. She kind of just brought up Pixie just for like a gain, to get a reaction out of him, and it was kind of like a manipulation thing. I don't know if she truthfully cared for Pixie, but it is fucked up that like you got matching tattoos of a guy that I don't even know if they were dating at this point. But I didn't get it because it just was like, hers was like the girl version, his was the boy version, and I just was like, this is so impulsive of her. Like, I don't know if it was just a way to make Ryan jealous or something, but it was a very, very childish move to pull on, in my opinion. Then decides to send a picture of Pixie, and he's like, are you really gonna put this new dog over Pixie, the dog that you literally wanted? And it was kind of insane that she did that, but she apparently didn't say anything after. She just sent the picture or whatever and just left it at that. Like, I'm pretty sure she left him unseen. And it pans to Gypsy getting threatened by Ryan on the phone with adultery, because he was just like, I know you fucked him, I know you fucked him, just be honest about it, you're committing adultery. And she didn't feel like she was committing adultery. She wasn't confirming or denying that they slept together, but I know that she did, because that's how she ended up getting pregnant. And she did the whole like rundown of, in one interview since her pregnancy announcement, of how she got pregnant. Like, she basically, the second that he got there, they started like banging it out, and she missed her period, and then she just was very like thinking, she just was really hell-bent on the fact that Ken is the father. So I don't know what the timeline of her and Ryan slept together, but like, I don't know. She said that she wanted to see what her life would have been like if she didn't get married. And so also he kept asking if he still loved her, to basically just for look for hope, like last dying hope of if there's any hope for the marriage, I guess. And he keeps asking to see her. Asked if things would have changed if he saw her, and he said maybe, but obviously that's a yes, because he wanted to see her. He was begging to see her this whole episode, and they never met up. She was just kind of like, no, I don't want to see you, I don't want to see you. And then she didn't want to see him, basically because she didn't want to give him like false hope, and she even felt like the phone call was giving him false hope. So also starts saying that she wants to get a divorce, and in 6 to 9 months she will be with Ken.
Want a divorce, and in 6 to 9 months I'm gonna be with Ken. Steal Gypsy Bros Amnesty. You know that, right? Trust me, I know. I'll text you later. Hey, what are you doing? Huh? I'm driving. How are you doing? I talked to Ryan. I just got off the phone with him. Oh, really? Yeah. How'd that go? He wants to meet, No! Well, what do you want to do? Obviously, I don't think it's a good idea. I told him point blank, I said, I want a divorce, and after this 6 to 9 months, I'm gonna be with Ken. He told them.
And he said, well, you're still considered Gypsy Rose Anderson. You know that, right? And she's like, yeah, trust me, I know. And then she hangs up immediately. This is where I was like, girl, I'm side-eyeing you. Because she's crying on the phone with Ryan and using these crocodile tears with Ryan. And then she slurps them up, reverses it, and she calls Ken. She calls Ken and she tells him what happened with Ryan. And she's like super giddy and excited because she's talking to him. Like, she talks to him like, the way she gets giddy is like a elementary school crush. He's divorcing Ryan, and she was saying that he wanted to see her, and he was like, no. And she's like, I'm not gonna go see him, I'm gonna just like get the divorce over with and stuff like that. So yeah, then it pans to the next morning and she leaves for her rhinoplasty. And I completely forgot about the rhinoplasty thing. I kind of just threw it in the back because I kind of forgot about it, honestly. And then Christy is like taking care of her after she got her rhinoplasty, and she's like giving her popsicles and like holding her up, and like it looks like she's burping her damn near and stuff like that. But then 5 days post-op, she takes off the bandages at the doctor's. And you know what was also weird is that they brought one of their dogs to the doctor's appointment, and I thought it was hella unsanitary because I know that type of dog sheds. And I was just like, really? You couldn't leave the dog in the car for like 15-20 minutes? Was it really that serious? You couldn't leave him at home? I just thought it was really unsanitary because like you're around a lot of medical equipment, and I just felt like common sense wasn't just, I don't know if it was just me that was bothered by that, but I was just kind of grossed out because you're at a doctor and it's like a very sterile place, and it was just very odd that they decided to bring the dog there. That she was like happy with her results and stuff like that, and the girls decided to go to a brunch and hang out, and they talked about, of course, the divorce. And she says the marriage is something that she didn't want due to the circumstances, and then Christy commented that she knew that they were gonna break up. She kind of like predicted it. And then Gypsy was like, yeah, she's been saying that since day one. And Mia was like, that was just so foul to say, like that was really rude.
So like, I did the right thing on my part by filing for divorce. Like, regardless of what is going on behind the scenes with me and Ken, the right thing to do was acknowledge that this marriage is not what I want and not working, and file based on that. I predicted it a long time ago. That's awful to say. No, it's really true. It's not true. She said it since day one. Because me and Ken never lost in touch.
Like, you should have never said that. You should not prey on someone's downfall like that, basically is what she said. And Mia felt like she as in Christy played a huge role in them breaking up since she kept in contact with Ken. I agree with Mia because if she wasn't in contact with Ken, I don't think she would have been so quick to break up with Ryan. She kept kind of pushing the door open for Ken because they were kind of talking about Gypsy a lot, and he was kind of keeping tabs on her through Christy. And so he knew that she was married, all this stuff, and he still decided to pursue her, which is kind of crazy in my opinion. Gypsy still had like lingering feelings for Ken. It was just kind of like opening it more and more and more and more. And then Ryan was getting more and more insecure because he was starting to be talked about more and more because of Christy. And since they're friends, they were always talking to each other. And I'm pretty sure it was just based around Gypsy, but it was a really fucked up circumstance. I don't think she thinks that she's the reason for it, but she plays a huge role. Gypsy played a role in it because she pursued it, continued to pursue it, and then Christy is the reason for the door opening, so she is at fault for it. But at the end of the day, everyone is grown. If you choose to cheat, then that's on you. But personally, I can't see my mom doing something like this. I can't see her like still contacting one of my exes and telling them about me, like what I'm doing and who I'm talking to. Like that was just like, I don't know, it just seemed, I would get really frustrated. And
So you guys were wanting to know, it was like, don't call me your birthday and stuff. You cut me off. It was, you know, listen, it got less and less. Like when they first split, you played a big role in their thing. When, you know, she needed to know the real reason why. Yes, she did, because it called her, did not you.
Christy says that she felt like Gypsy needed to know why her and Ken broke up, and she keeps using this excuse, by the way. She's been saying this since day one, A1, and Mia felt like Ken should have been man enough to tell her instead of Christy, which was very true, because like if you really wanted to know why someone broke up with you, then you should have texted them yourself to know why they broke up with you instead of like using your mom. I thought it was weird that her mom was butting so much into their situation too. Like she could have figured this out on her own, and if she decided to like text him behind everyone's back without Christy being involved, like that's her decision. But the fact that she did it this way is like, I don't know, it's just a whole different level of foul. But Mia said that it would have been disrespectful if she kept hearing things about her ex while she's still with Andre. Andre is her current boyfriend, and Christy felt like it was a different circumstance because Gypsy wanted closure. And Mia felt like it wasn't her mom's place to butt into their marriage, and the way that she did, and she felt like Ryan was very justified in disliking Ken. And then she also says that she's been bothered for a while about how things been going down, but she's been swallowing her tongue. And she says in her confessional that there was no respect when it came to Ryan, and felt like he wasn't trying to protect Gypsy, he as in Ken, I believe, in the best way due to the media, and was feeling like they were only making a rational decision for short-term happiness. Which is true, I agree, because like I think she chases him so much because, well, one, it's her first love, and two, it's like I think she romanticizes him so much because she keeps looking for this fairy tale relationship, knowing that like relationships aren't supposed to be 100% perfect all the time. And so she keeps talking about Ken as in like her Prince Charming, and it's just like very much like kiddish, and I feel like she's not mature to be in a relationship. Like she should be single, in my opinion. Where she says that in her confessional that she didn't feel like any regret when it came to her decision, which I was like, okay, obviously it's very obvious that you feel that way because she's gonna keep doing it regardless. So Ryan and Pixie decide to go to visit Ryan's mom's house, and he was telling his mom that Gypsy texted him at 3 a.m. asking about Pixie, which I was like, girl, why are you texting him? Was it really that serious? And he felt like her sending that message was like giving him hope for their marriage working out, and his mom was like, this is not like a healthy way to live, like why is she still talking to you? But she was saying it like in a nice way, but I know that she was like, oh my god, I want to shake the fuck out of you, I want to choke you out, because like it's clear as day that she's manipulating you. This is like the manipulation after the breakup, and a lot of people go through this little phase of like the manipulation and thinking that they still like them, but they just try to use them for like gain and like try to like string them along and give them all these little like false hope and hopes of like them still being in the background in case something doesn't work out with their current boyfriend. Like this is all a thing I've seen before. Mom says that like if she wants to leave, then she should leave and not keep opening the conversation, because it doesn't make sense to why she kept contacting him still. And then Ryan says that after their trip to New York, they had like a honeymoon stage, which it was very early in their relationship still, because it was like their first trip since being married. And he said that he felt like when they got home, it stopped being in a honeymoon phase, and she expected it to stay that way all the time. And his mom asked if she had that idea envisioned before she got released, and he was like, yeah. And then it pans to Gypsy and Rod, and they talk about their plans when Ken comes, and she shows off the new tattoos that she got with Ken. My camera is dying, no. Christy and Rod, and they discuss about Ken and Gypsy. And Christy says that Gypsy decided to move in with Ryan because she felt like she would have been a burden to the family. And Rod felt guilty because she didn't feel like she had a place to live, even though she did. She had a room. They showed it in like the beginning episodes of what her room was supposed to be at when she moved out, got out of prison, but she decided to go with Ryan. Turns to Gypsy on the phone with Ken, and they're getting ready for Ken's arrival. He's on the phone and saying that he's like getting like he was getting like closer and closer to where they are, and they're going to like Jazz Fest with the family. And she was also saying that she tracks him on like the phone, so she was like seeing his every move. And I think it was like more like an exciting thing, but also it looks like she would do it like all the time. Like she would be the type to do it all the time. That's just me. But she said in her confessional that she hopes to have a fairy tale like relationship with him, like they always envisioned. And then Rod says in his confessional that he's still like iffy about Ken because he's already broken her heart before, and he's worried that he's gonna do it again, which I believe too. Like I personally, like, you should not let a guy tell you twice that he doesn't want you. And I worry that she got pregnant just to trap him because, well, one, her mom did that with Rod, and two, like, a baby is not gonna fix a relationship. They didn't even give it time to like marinate and like develop before her like getting pregnant. Like her dad was literally saying like, let it like develop, like get to know each other before having kids. And then she was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then she ends up having a kid a month later after that talk. And I thought that was really irresponsible. But when he arrives, she's like, she runs up to him and he's like embracing her. I mean, she's embracing him, but I don't feel like he was really embracing her that much. But he also brought his dog Parker. And then while everyone is sitting down and chilling, Rod is like, well, I have something to say. He didn't even give it time before to say anything, like to say like that he has something on his chest. And he's like, I want to talk to Ken. And he tells Gypsy that he didn't want to feel like he was coming out controlling when it came to Ryan, and wanted her to make the decision if she wanted to marry him. And then when he talks to Ken, he mentions like, you broke her heart before, and concerned he'll do it again. He hopes that it doesn't happen again, but he's concerned about it. He says marriage is a piece of paper, and if you're in love, then you should be able to show it and not hide your feelings. And he said that to Gypsy. Then he ends a convo, and he points at Gypsy, and he's like, she wants a kid. I could tell it. I could tell that she wants a kid. I could sense it. And she's like, what? No, I don't want a kid. But it's obvious like she wanted one because her reaction was so weird. Like it was just like, I know that she wanted a kid. She wanted something to keep him staying. So yeah, it was annoying. Her reaction was a little bit annoying because it was very like, it kind of gave it away more in my opinion. And Rod says to let the relationship develop without a kid. And then a month later, there's a video of Gypsy recording herself, and she's like, oh, I missed my period.
I am late on my period. So I texted Ken and I'm like joking with him. I'm like, well, I guess you've been sparing my PMS for a month. Because I guess I'm not gonna, I skipped a period. So he's like, or maybe, I don't really know. And he's like, give me like the big eye emoji. I'll go take a test. So I go in the bathroom, I take the test. And it came back positive.
Texted Ken and said like, oh, I missed my period. And he was like speculating that she was pregnant. And so she takes the test and finds out it's positive. That she says in her confessional that she felt like her dad was gonna get mad at her because like a month prior, like I said, he was like, let the relationship develop. Like, don't have kids yet. Like, I want to have a grandkid, but I could wait for one. Took 2 pregnancy tests confirm it, and she is pregnant. So then the producer asked if Ken was happy, and she said that he was excited, but he had to like take an hour to reflect and process it. And then he came back, called her, and he was like happy crying. And it pans to the spot where she took her maternity pics and announced her pregnancy. I can remember every outfit because every outfit she was doing something outrageous in it. So I just remember that one white blouse, that one white dress was when she announced her pregnancy, and that was when she made that video shortly after. It looked like she did it all in one day, because I think she was still wearing that same white dress in that video on her YouTube channel. Gypsy asked to Ryan if he felt like she's changed in the last 7 years, and he says that she's more transparent, but she's still very impulsive. Which I was like, girl, everyone is saying that you're very impulsive. Like, the thing that they say the most about her is that she's very impulsive, which to me is like not a good trait to have. Mr. Ryan, and this is when he finds out that Gypsy is pregnant, and you could tell that he's like holding back tears because he was just like, how, like, there was just so much going on probably in that time frame for him. Like, she left him, then she got matching tattoos, and she lied about them being just friends, even though they were literally like, how do I say this, thotting and bopping together and all that stuff. And now she's pregnant. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot, honestly. That's probably the worst way to break up. And then especially seeing it all over the news and shit, like, that probably makes it way worse if you're trying to move on. But he was saying that, like, Gypsy texted her pics of pregnancy tests and saying like he was wondering who the father was, and he said that he was in denial about her pregnancy, but he was confused because they were trying to have a kid, and also they never got pregnant together. But she also took a plan B, so that's another reason why she didn't get pregnant with you. And also, like, I don't know, before they've raw dogged each other a few times and she didn't get pregnant, so he was feeling some type of way about it. And he was like, I don't know if she's actually happy because she still texts me. So he was like, kind of, I know that he felt like that bitch, because he's like, well, she always runs back to me. But running back to your ex is not always a good thing. It doesn't mean it's always a good thing, because I don't know, it would go bad. But anyways, it pans to Gypsy saying that she has a lot of baggage, brings a lot of like drama to Ken's life, and she was worried about him leaving her again. And the producer was asking like, are you do you feel like you think he's gonna leave, or do you have any concerns? And she was like, yeah. And she started crying, and that's how it ends. Like, that is literally how it ends. And I'm really upset that it's done, because I really got addicted to that show. I hope you guys enjoyed this recap. If there's ever a season 2, I'm definitely gonna be recapping that. I had a lot of fun reading your guys' comments and hearing your guys' theories about Ryan and all that stuff. I had a lot of fun recapping it, because I feel like it helped me put a lot of my little psychology knowledge, because I am in school for psychology, and helped me put it to the test, I guess, in a way. And it also helped me like heal from toxic relationships in a way too, because me talking about my own experiences was kind of helping me. And I hope it helped you guys, because I was just really like speaking from the heart and from my own experiences. I had a lot of fun. I'm happy that like it got really good feedback on it, and I'm glad that I didn't chicken out and didn't like end it in the middle of the season, because I tend to do stuff like that. But I had fun, and I hope that like there's more shows that I can react off of it. If there's any shows that you think I should react off of, like let me know, because I'm running out of shows to react off of, and it kind of stresses me out because there's a lot of, like, I have a hard time really getting into shows, and The Other Way is kind of boring right now. I thought it was going to be interesting, and no, it's not really that interesting. So I'm having a hard time really like reacting off of it because it's kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was gonna be interesting, and that's why I was reacting off of it. But it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on in this season, and I know it's like the beginning, but it's very much like it's gonna be kind of treacherous to get through this season for me. Meantime, let me know, comment your suggestions, because I need to figure that out like kind of quickly, because now that I don't have Gypsy Rose to rely on, I kind of have to like figure out something so I don't fall off of my little thing, because I have this good momentum going right now. So yeah, I will see you guys next week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Bye guys.
The 10-foot pole, my man with a 10-foot pole. My man wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. My man with a 10-foot pole.